Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to sift through the noise, find those signals, those bits of insight that can really shift your perspective. And today we're diving into something that, honestly, once you get it, it might just change how you look at pretty much every decision, every action you take. We spend so much time focused on the what right. What's the plan? What should I do? But what if the when is actually, well, way more important, maybe even the defining thing. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, so our source material for this deep dive, we're calling it Excerpts from the Art of Strategic Timing. And the core message, it's really quite direct. It boils down to this: master timing, because the right action at the wrong time, it fails. So the implication is clear: wait for the right moment. Our mission today really is to dig into what that actually means. Why is timing not just, one factor, but often the critical one for success? And how can you maybe harness that?
It really hits home, I think, because we've all had that experience, haven't we? You pour everything into something, a project, maybe launching a new idea, or even just having a difficult conversation. You plan it out perfectly. You take what feels like absolutely the right action, and then nothing. It just fizzles out. Or sometimes it even backfires, which is worse. You did everything right, technically, but the result, super frustrating. So today we're looking at why that baffling thing often comes down to doing the right thing, just at the wrong moment. Right, let's get into that first big idea from the source. The right action at the wrong time fails. Notice it doesn't say a bad action fails, which is obvious. It says the right action, a good idea. That's the part that kind of messes with your head, isn't it? It goes against that whole just work harder, work smarter thing we hear all the time. Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, what's fascinating here, I think, is how bold that statement is. The source isn't saying, oh, you messed up the execution or the strategy was flawed. No, it's specifically talking about an action that, on its own, it's sound, it's maybe even brilliant. And that immediately forces us to look beyond just the quality of what we do. It highlights this massive variable that we often just ignore or maybe underestimate: the external conditions. So it begs the question, how can something inherently right just fail? Well, it means the context, the market, what people are thinking, the tech available, regulations, all that stuff. The moment isn't just passive background noise. It's an active force, a powerful one, actually. It can completely undermine even the best steps if the timing's off.
Yeah, and for you listening, this really challenges that core belief, that deep down feeling that if you just put in enough effort, enough willpower, use the right strategy, you should succeed. It makes you rethink past experiences, doesn't it? Those times where you were so meticulous, so prepared, and things just didn't work out. Think about those amazing inventions that just showed up too early. You mentioned the tablet idea in the 90s. Great concept. The tech, the batteries, the connectivity, it wasn't there yet. The moment wasn't right. Or even, say, a really powerful speech with a great message, but the audience just isn't ready to hear it yet. The action wasn't wrong.
The moment was wrong. Exactly. Precisely. And the consequences of getting that wrong are huge. We're talking wasted time, wasted money, missed opportunities, and honestly, just pure discouragement, burnout even. And it all stems not from doing the wrong thing, but from doing the right thing out of sync with the moment. It tells us that even the most perfect strategy, flawless execution, can be rendered totally ineffective by bad timing. It's not just what you do, it's when you do it and what's happening around you when you do. Like you said, trying to sell ice cream in a blizzard. Good product, terrible timing.
Right. Or launching that crypto exchange just as the regulators decide to crack down.
Exactly. The value might be there conceptually, but the circumstances just shut it down. It really shows the incredible power of when, often underestimated power.
Okay, so if the right action fails at the wrong time, what do we do? What's the solution? Well, our source gives us this guiding principle: wait for the right moment. Now, this is key, I think. It's not saying be passive. It's not about just sitting around and procrastinating. It's about something much more active.
It's more strategic.
It's strategic pausing.
Yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that instruction, wait, implies a really active process. It's not passive at all. It involves intense observation, careful assessment, real discernment. The right moment isn't just some random thing that happens to you. The source suggests it's identifiable, maybe even predictable to some extent. But finding it requires patience. It requires a sharp eye for the conditions around you, what's really going on. It's about spotting when all the necessary factors start lining up. Market signals, what competitors are doing, public mood, tech readiness. Do you have the internal support? It's recognizing that sweet spot where everything comes together to create the best possible conditions for your action. It means being ready to go, but having the discipline to hold back until the environment is genuinely ready to receive what you're offering.
Like a surfer waiting for the perfect wave, maybe. Not just any wave.
Exactly like that. Or maybe a chess master, like you mentioned. Not just thinking one move ahead, but seeing the whole board, anticipating and waiting for that opening.
So this really encourages a shift, doesn't it? Away from just being constantly busy, constantly reacting, towards being more deliberate, more observant, more thoughtful, maybe. Instead of always asking, okay, what's next? What can I do now? Man, it pushes you to pause first. To actually ask, hang on, is now really the right time for this specific thing? It puts a focus on awareness, on being present to the conditions. But, I mean, there's a flip side, right? You wait too long, the moment passes, you miss the boat entirely. How do you balance that strategic pause with needing to be agile, especially today when things move so fast?
That's the crucial point. That's where the art part of the art of strategic timing comes in. It's a judgment call. Waiting isn't just doing nothing. It's an active strategy. It absolutely requires foresight, being able to sort of anticipate what that right moment might look like, when it might be coming. And maybe just as importantly, the discipline to resist jumping the gun, to not act just because you feel impatient or pressured. And while you're waiting, you're not just sitting on your hands, you're preparing. You might be gathering more intelligence, refining your plan, building support internally, maybe developing skills you'll need when the moment hits. Think about Apple again, the Newton PDA, revolutionary idea, but maybe too early. Tech wasn't quite there, market wasn't ready. Fast forward a decade or so, the iPhone, the tech was mature, people understood the potential, the market was primed, boom, changed everything. That waiting period wasn't idle. It was filled with learning, development, observation. So an action's power, its chance of real success, it gets hugely amplified when you nail the timing. When you execute it right in that sweet spot, that designated right moment.
That's a really powerful distinction. It's not passive waiting, it's active preparation and observation. Being a scout, maybe, or even an architect trying to shape the conditions. Okay, so let's pull these two core ideas together now. Right action, wrong time, fails, and wait for the right moment. Let's look at the big picture the source is painting with this title, The Art of Strategic Timing. Mastering this, clearly, isn't just about knowing these ideas intellectually. It's about weaving them into how you actually operate, how you make decisions, run projects, live your life. So what does this all mean when we put it together? What does mastering strategic timing look like?
Well, putting it all together, mastering timing fundamentally means understanding and really feeling the power of synchronicity. It's about aligning the right action with the when, the right moment, that perfect alignment. Success, according to the source, isn't just about doing the right thing. It's crucially about doing the right thing at the optimal time. Developing this skill, this art, lets you avoid all those pitfalls of wasted effort, of pushing against a locked door. Instead, you maximize your impact, sometimes exponentially. Think about a skilled investor. They don't just find a good company, right? They look at the timing. Is the price right? What's the market cycle doing?
Right, it's the when as much as the what.
Exactly. They're assessing the when, the market conditions, the sentiment, just as much as the what, the company itself. Mastering timing means reading the environment, sensing the mood, being ready, but having the discipline to wait for that window, and then the courage to act decisively when it opens. You leverage the environment instead of fighting it.
That gives you such a different perspective, doesn't it? A whole new layer to consider for every future decision. It's adding this critical dimension, the when, to your strategic thinking, which maybe you didn't consciously focus on before. It almost sounds like developing a kind of intuition, a sixth sense for the opportune moment. But surely there are traps. What makes us get it wrong? Why do we act too early? Or maybe wait too long?
That's a really good question. And yeah, there are definitely common pitfalls. A lot of it comes down to, well, human psychology and sometimes just how organizations work. One big one is what some call urgency bias, that pressure, internal or external, that screams, do something, do it now. Even if deep down you sense the conditions aren't quite right.
Yeah, fear of missing out maybe. Or pressure from stakeholders.
Exactly. Another huge one is the sunk cost fallacy. You've already invested so much time, energy, money. You feel like you have to push forward, even if all the signs are telling you to pause or pivot. You just can't let go of the past effort.
That's a tough one.
It really is. And sometimes we just confuse patience with procrastination, or we mistake wishful thinking for genuine insight about the moment being right. Mastering this isn't about endless waiting. It's about making an informed judgment call on readiness. That takes data, sure, but also that intuition you mentioned. Ultimately, the core insight from the art of strategic timing is this. Timing isn't just a nice to have. It's not an optional extra you sprinkle on top. No, the source argues it's foundational. It's absolutely essential for effective action. It even suggests timing might be more critical than the action itself in deciding success or failure. So truly mastering timing, that gives you a massive advantage. It moves you from just acting to acting with real purpose, real impact.
Wow. Okay, so we've really unpacked something quite profound today, I think. That core idea. The right action isn't enough by itself. The right moment is just as crucial, maybe even more so. And internalizing that perspective, it really could reshape how you approach, well, pretty much everything.
It really could. And it leaves you with a pretty potent question to mull over, doesn't it? How many times, if you're really honest with yourself, have you pushed ahead with what felt like a right action, put in all the work, only to hit a wall, met with resistance or indifference or just failure? And looking back now, maybe, just maybe, a strategic pause, a bit more waiting, a bit more preparation, until the conditions were better, could that have changed the entire outcome?
Exactly. Food for thought, definitely. So as you go about your week, maybe just hold on to this idea. Think about situations in your own life, work or personal, that new project, that goal you're aiming for, maybe even just bringing up a tricky subject with someone. Could any of those benefit from a deeper look at strategic timing, where might deliberately waiting for the right moment, combined with that active preparation we talked about, be the key to turning a good effort into a really great, successful outcome? Lots to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.